cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. What's up, fellas? Welcome to another True Tuesday episode. Fellas, let me ask y'all this, man. How y'all feel about MRIs? I myself, I'm terrified of them, and I you know, at all costs, you know, I try to prevent from having any type of injury to where, you know, I may possibly have to have an MRI now. Mm-hmm. That's easier said than done. But yeah, how y'all feel about, you know, MRIs if you guys have ever had one?
I've had an MRI. I really have to mentally concentrate. And once I start sliding in the little thing, I close my eyes and I don't open them.
I do the same.
I don't open them until it's time for me to come out, because it's like being claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, exactly.
And then I got this weird thought in my mind of a casket, man. Like being in a casket.
The way they position you a lot of times when you're going in there is almost as if you're in a casket. So I could easily see why you think that way, Freddie G.
Yeah, so I'll be like, man. But yeah, mentally, I just got to close my eyes, and I be singing little songs in my head. Yeah. You know, but I don't like them. I don't like them.
Yeah. I just had one. Was it April? Same thing. I think I had two in 2 different days, but I only had the flu the whole time. But I was like, they're just trying to make money, because why would you give me an MRI for the flu?
The flu?
Yes. I was like, why would you give me? I said, you trying to get money, man.
Well, you know the medical field is all about that in the damn way. How about you, Slash?
Man, I can recall the MRI. I didn't. Same thing. It's a claustrophobic feeling when you go in there, but I keep my eyes open. I had my eyes open. I'm looking at the thing.
Oh, you know? Damn, you brave, bro.
You brave. You brave.
That's one of the things that really freaked me out, because of how close it is to me. No, as you going in, like we say, it's a round tube, and I'm a big dude.
Right.
So, you know, that top part down inches from my forehead. Yeah. So, you know, that claustrophobic.
I kept my eyes open, man, trying to tough it out.
I closed my eyes.
I closed my eyes, and when I Googled it, they told me I had to have an MRI. I Googled it. So they showed the guy the MRI machine, but it was making loud gunshots. See, and I was scared. I was like,
they do make a lot of noise.
Mine didn't make no noise.
They didn't give you headphones or anything to put?
Mine didn't make no noise.
They didn't give me no headphones, but it do make like a loud.
It just goes. It didn't make no loud noise.
Here was so crazy. What I found interesting, I had an MRI, right, and I got this, like, right to this day, I still have this hairline tear tendon in my left shoulder. And also my left shoulder is bone on bone, right?
Okay.
And so I deal with this like every day. Just pain management, right? And I've been dealing with this for years, right?
Right.
But what I don't understand is why y'all just can't take some kind of MRI just on my shoulder, like point something in, like instead of putting my whole body up in there.
Yeah, I feel the same way, bro. It sounds easier and more simple to us. Yeah. But, you know, we're not in the medical field, so, you know, of course, they're the professionals. Yeah. But MRI actually stands for magnetic resonance imaging, which is a medical imaging technique used in radiology to generate pictures of the anatomy and the psychological process inside the body. Physiological, I'm fucking that word up, process inside the body. MRI scanners use strong magnetic fields and magnetic field gradients and radio waves to form images of the organs and in the body. MRI does not involve X-rays or the use of any ionizing radiation, which distinguishes it from CAT scans and PET scans. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about MRIs, man, I recently had one done myself about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and coincidentally, right after I had my MRI, I saw this story about a guy that was actually sucked in the MRI. I don't know if you guys saw this on the news or heard it on, saw it on through social media, but in Westbury, New York, Keith McAllister, a 61-year-old, was unalived when he entered a Long Island MRI room during a scan. Now, Mr. McAllister's wife, Adrienne Jones McAllister, was the one that was actually getting the MRI done on her knee, and had called for the technician to let her husband in and help her get back up after, like we were saying, they lay you down depending on what you're getting the scan on. They'll lay you down, and so she was laying down and called for assistance, to help her sit up. So the technician allowed Mr. McAllister inside, even though he was wearing a 20-pound weight chain. Now, a weight chain, I don't know if you guys can picture. At first, I thought it was jewelry when I initially heard the story, because nowadays you see everybody wearing these big pieces of jewelry, piece and chain. So after doing research, I saw it was a weight chain, and these chains, as you can imagine, are the type where you trying to strengthen your neck. I can imagine, they do neck exercises with these 20-pound chains on. So imagine this man walking in with this chain and this MRI machine sucks. It's just a big old magnet.
Right.
So it sucked him in the machine before he was even able to assist his wife.
Yeah.
So the technician, as well as Mr. McAllister's wife, was trying to pull him from the machine,
and
but
doing at least $150,000 a year.
They weren't succeeding, man. Just the strength, not the strength, but just the power of
the magnetic pull.
Yeah, the power of this MRI machine was just too much. And unfortunately, it caused him to his demise, which is a very sad and traumatic situation for the technician as well as the wife, I can imagine. But, with the fear that I had already had of having MRIs, I feel like this last MRI I took may have been the last one that I possibly may ever take again after hearing this story. Now, I do know, to prepare you before getting the MRI, they ask you to remove all your jewelry and anything that could be of metal material, possibly earrings, jewelry, like I said. And I think as you're filling out paperwork, they ask you if you have any type of metal inside your body.
Yeah.
And now I understand and see why this is very important, seeing how this magnetic force, pulled this man in. Now, they do have emergency procedures, which in seeing and reading about these emergency procedures, I'm not sure why neither one of these were actually utilized. They have two types of buttons. One is an emergency shutdown button, which this button turns off most electrical power in the scanner room and operator room, including the console and patient table. It does not quench the magnet, but is used when there's a serious equipment fault or hazard, such as, like, I guess if the building was on fire or something like that, then they would utilize this method.
Yeah.
Now, this other one, which is the emergency magnetic rundown unit, which is the one I feel that should have been utilized, initiates a control quench, turning off the magnetic field while keeping the electrical power on. It is used in life-threatening emergencies, which this seemed to be a life-threatening emergency.
Yeah, especially with somebody in MRI that's not supposed to be in there.
He was, even though he was authorized in.
No, I'm saying, but he got dragged into the machine, so he wasn't supposed to be in there. They should have saw that.
So I don't see why the technician, at that time, that would have been my first initial act. Basically, was to hit this shut-off button. It's called an EMRU. That would have been my initial.
So this 20-pound weight deal that was on his neck. It seems to me like, first of all, for it to be, I got in my mind, I see this big chain, right? And it seems like if a magnetic force is coming, it seems like the chain, if it's big enough to fit over your head, it'll just snatch off of your head. Like if you bend your head down,
right?
Like it should just come off your body.
Was
versus
it a choker? Did he have a choker
Well, I
chain?
mean,
Was it-
now,
If it was a choker. Yeah.
now you saying a big old chain, but I'm picturing like a lock on the chain as well that kind of probably pulled him by the lock.
Yeah.
Versus, and I see what you're saying, Freddie G. I would have possibly, ducked my head to where the chain would have automatically come off as well. I can't say what happened and how it occurred, but or even if he had an opportunity to react in that manner.
So, pretty much his demise was like being fixated to death,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
or like what actually caused his demise?
It just said his body had went limp from constantly being pulled by the magnetic force. So
So if you're being, so
if his body
some-
went limp, I mean,
so that means could something have broken bones? Like
I would have to think maybe his bones probably did kind of like
break your back, break your neck, or
just
something.
visualized it, man.
Just, yeah. 'Cause
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of chain was this.
Like I said, though, like when you're working out and you have guys that they have these big old chains on their neck and they do those up and down exercises
I'm
just to
thinking
strengthen
like
your neck.
some-
That's the only thing I can visualize
So
and think why
I
one would
got
wear
Derrick
one.
Henry in my mind.
Yeah, like in that commercial. You seen
Yeah,
that
you
commercial with
see
Derrick
Derrick
Henry?
So the
yeah.
man went to the
Well, he
doctor's
accompanied his wife.
He was
His
with
wife was the one getting the MRI.
and he went in the room with the MRI machine.
to help her.
She asked for help getting up.
And it
to
sucked
sit
him
up.
in.
It sucked him in as soon as he entered the room.
cleared him to go in.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, man. Here's the thing. First of all, both parties
Yeah.
could be at fault.
It
Let
sounds
me
like
tell
it.
you why. Let me tell you why. I'm sure before he walked through those doors to go assist his wife, there are all kind of signs
That says-
plastered over the
right.
doors about having metal, no this, no that,
Right.
no this. That's number one. That's kind of his fault
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
for not reading and not understanding what he was about to enter.
Now-
Then the other fault would be on the technician himself.
For allowing him.
Because the truth of the matter is, man, there should have been no personnel beyond this point if you're not the patient. No regular personnel, no unauthorized personnel beyond this point if you're not the patient. And so, y'all, that technician, if the lady needed assistance, you should have been the one assisting by number one. That means she was done.
Yeah, because that's your job.
Because she
anyway.
got to get out.
Right.
So that means she was done. After she done, you turn the damn machine off. You turn it off, and you go.
Okay.
And you go
so,
assist.
So look
assist
at it
her.
look this way. Say, I love you, Mike Tyson, but I gotta use you as an example. Say it was one of them Mike Tyson dudes with nothing but attitude. Man, you ain't touching my wife. I get her. All right, bro, go ahead. The one thing I will blame him for, the technician for, I would say, hey man, take your chain off before you go in. Maybe he was scared to tell him to take the chain off because he had already had attitude.
Think about this. And I get where you're going with
Yeah.
it. I get where you're going with it. But really, I know that there's some people who act a little crazy at times. But think about this, man. If you're at a hospital and you're taking your wife to get assistance, man, you're pretty much saying, okay, doctors or technicians or nurses, do whatever you have to do to help my loved one. You ain't touching my wife seem a little far-fetched, but I get where you're coming from. But shit, if they got any kids, this has been the doctor that touched all up in that wife.
I'm just saying, the hospital is the craziest place where the people are the craziest. I see.
Now I'm with you, Freddie G. If the lady was getting up, then that means that the procedure had to be through
completely.
done.
Yeah.
So the machine should have been off, and I would think. But now I'm wondering if maybe she panicked while the machine was on and was asking for assistance. The husband hear her panicking, and because he hear his wife panicking, trying to run to her.
Here's the thing, though. I think that they have some kind of microphone or something, and because they'll tell you you're going to be in here for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or whatever, and then they'll say
status updates type of
and they'll tell you, hey, if you get into a certain point where you need a break or something like that, all you have to do is just say, hey, I need a break or whatever, so they should be able to hear you.
I agree. I'm just trying to wonder why the machine was still on, especially if you authorizing this man to come in and assist his wife.
I think he just forgot.
And it's funny that you say negligence, because when I looked at the a lot of the safety incidences that they have with MRIs, they say that most of them are due to violations or safety protocols that they just choose not to enforce or follow.
Yeah.
Which sounds fucked up.
No, you know what? It does sound fucked up, but look at it from this standpoint. Now, I want to take you back to the ship when we were in the Navy. Now, depending on what type of ship you were on,
Right.
you know there's all kind of safety protocol that we have to follow when navigating our way through this ship, right?
Correct.
And a lot of times, we're not thinking about those safety protocols. Hell, how many times have you walked in somewhere and they say, hey, you need to put goggles on beyond this point?
Yeah.
But you walk in beyond this point with no goggles on because ain't nothing happening umpteen years.
Right.
You know? And so that one time where you walk beyond this point with no goggles, a piece of metal flew in your eye.
And you could have prevented it by just simply
putting goggles on.
Right, good point. There's been 4 other deaths that I found in doing research. One of them occurred here, another one occurred here not another one, but one occurred here in Texas last year. It was a neuromodulation IPG who got stuck in the MRI in the MRI mode. It doesn't get specifics. Another one was an infant that suffered burns during the MRI, and that occurred also in 2024 in Sydney, Australia.
Did they die?
Yeah. All of these were unalived.
So that's radiation.
Well, with the infant being burned, yeah. Another man was killed with his own gun during the MRI in February of 2023 in San Paulo, Brazil.
He had it on his hip.
His own gun, but they tell you to take all of it.
That's on him.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's on him right there.
You ain't lying.
Now, in this last one, I do recall hearing this one, and this happened in 2023 in California, where a nurse was crushed by a gurney. You guys, I kind of vaguely remember hearing this story, where it sucked her in. It's the gurney itself was metallic, and
she was in front of the gurney.
Well, she was.
I'm sorry.
No, I think she was on the gurney and strapped to it, and it sucked her in like that. Go ahead, Freddie G.
Damn.
Man, you know what? I just thought of a way to kind of help prevent some of these untimely deaths, right? If you was about to enter an MRI, right, they tell you to take all of this stuff off before you go.
Right.
I think that right before you get ready to lay onto the actual gurney deal to go inside the MRI, I think that they need to have a metal detector.
Oh, one of those scanners.
Like this, no, not even the scanner. The actual metal detector to
Like
where
at
you
the airport.
Yeah, and you walk through that, and that's your last deal because that's your last deal that you walk through
Before you get to that
and
magnet.
before you lay down.
Yeah, and make those
And
gurneys.
if you do that, whatever last minute deal should go off.
Yeah, and make those gurneys hard plastic instead of metal. The hard plastic, you know what I mean? Make it the thick hard plastic instead of metal, and use that instead.
I thought they are. They are.
Nah, he just said the lady.
Well, I mean, you know, like
metal.
the wheels I know are hard plastic, but the
just the railing.
the railing.
You said the railing.
This was in 2023, but again,
Wait a minute. So
the lady got
in 2023, there was a lady that was unalived by MRI because she was crushed by a gurney. Well, crushed by a gurney. So
okay, so that's what I'm trying. It sounds like a disconnect between you and Comedian 96.
I originally said she was in the gurney, but in reading this again, she was crushed by the gurney. So I think
Okay.
She was in front of the gurney.
I thought, okay.
and it
That's
sucked her
I thought
in.
you said it was a metal.
either that or
crushed her.
she was in the MRI and the door was open and the gurney came in, type like that.
Yeah.
It was something on those lines. I do vaguely remember this story though.
Wow.
I wonder why they just don't put us in that butt naked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be an
Boxes
easy
only,
fix.
so.
Well, the hospital gown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just discard all your clothing and put on the gown and
But then again, your back is out in the gown, so your butt cheeks is sweaty butt cheeks.
They gotta wipe that whole off after everybody.
Everybody
all different kind of booties.
I can see comedian 96 sniffing and licking before he get
Oh, come on.
He got that
I wouldn't
crazy
do that.
fetish.
I wouldn't do that, sir.
They say these type of incidents underscore the importance of thorough patient screening and adherence to MRI safety guidelines. The strong magnetic fields generated by MRI machines can exert powerful forces on ferromagnetic objects, leading to potential catastrophic accidents if safety protocols are not followed. But earlier I mentioned how most of these accidents are caused by protocols that they necessarily don't follow. So it's almost like they're contradicting themselves in a sense. But at the same time, I think, when you're having a medical procedure done, period, it should be taken, extremely serious, and not knowing that, deaths can be caused by having an MRI. As a patient going in, I'm gonna definitely have to ask questions now, and you don't just hold it up to the technicians to practice the protocols. Like I was just saying, ask questions if you're not sure. It's better safe than sorry,
Right.
in my opinion. But like I said, that may have been the last MRI that I may have ever taken. The one I took a couple of weeks ago. In closing, man, while MRI scans are generally safe, the risk associated with them necessitates strict compliance with safety measures and to prevent accidents and ensure patient safety. The tragic case of Keith McAllister serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers when safety protocols are ignored. Y'all come back and join us next week. Peace out. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Sky Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Sky Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Sky faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.